my weaving friends. Welcome back to Weave Along with Elewys. I'm Elewys of Finching Field. Originally I was going to do a really easy tablet weaving pattern, like this is your first tablet weaving pattern that is easy to set up and easy to do and still looks fantastic, and is period. But I've had to put that one on hold. And why, you ask? I have a very good reason. I really do. Two good friends of mine were offered peerage in the Order of the Laurel. And this is super exciting. If you're not in the SCA, this may not make sense to you. So what it is the highest recognition for the skills in the arts. It's a great achievement, and I am absolutely thrilled that both of them were offered entrance into the Order of the Laurel. One of them contacted me the other day and asked me if I would be willing to do some tablet weaving for garters for her outfit. And I said, well, yeah. Oh, and you do Italian Wren, so you don't mind if I do them in silk, right? We talked a little bit more and decided on some colors. I said, okay, now the next thing I got to do is find the perfect pattern. And honestly, it didn't take me long to settle on this one. This laurel leaf design was created by Mistress Thora Sharptooth, also known as Carolyn Priest Dorman. And it was made about 20 years ago, and it is posted on her website, and I'll leave the link below so you can go check it out. She's got quite a lot of really great Norse history, culture, arts and sciences stuff. Now this is a double-faced technique, and I've only done this once before, and it was quite a long time ago. So this is a great opportunity for me to improve my skills in this technique, but also to show you guys how to do it. And it's really not that hard. So if you've ever had a shape or animals or plants or letters that you've wanted to weave, this double face technique is really a great way to do that. Any design that could be done in cross stitch, like a two-color design, can be done this way. Now this project needs to be done in just a few weeks, so I better get started right now. So you'll need to get your loom, 32 cards, and your silk, and then we'll get started. So here's a close-up of that pattern. This is a different kind of pattern than I've ever used before. The way it's drawn out is kind of unfamiliar to me. So it took a little bit of time, but I finally figured out that each of these blocks is worth 2 turns. So 2 picks to create the one block. Each column is still 1 card, so that makes that pretty easy. The other thing that isn't noted on this pattern is how to thread the cards. And because, well, I like to have everything spelled out for me, I decided to go ahead and use the TDD software and chart it out so that I knew for sure what I was doing. So this is that chart that I put together. Now it's a little harder to see because of the dark backgrounds with the turning sequence, but the threading diagram is really quite simple. It's literally all of the cards are threaded A and B with the light color and C and D with the dark color, except for the border cards, because that's, that's always different. And then every time you want to keep the same color, you reverse directions. But if you want to change the color, you keep going in the direction that you were before. So here we're going backward, backward, same color, forward, forward, change color, forward, forward, change color again, forward, forward, and then keep the color, backward, backward. So it's really pretty easy. I'm really surprised that this is all there is to it. And I understand that in the end, this is going to be a 2-sided pattern. So it'll be these colors in reverse on the other side. So I'm looking forward to doing this. So we're ready to start our warping. We've got the loom, we've got the pattern, cards, teeny tiny sharp scissors, and all of the silk yarn that I'm going to be using. Actually, I'm not going to be using the yellow in this one. It was a consideration, probably for a future project, but we're going to go with the white and the green for this one. Now, because these cones are kind of top fed, so you pull the thread from the top, I can't use my sideways lazy Kate, so I found this one. It's actually for my spinning wheel, and I put my cones on it. I'm just using it to stand them still while I'm working. But I'm going to put this on the floor like I normally do, pull the threads from the top to warp the loom. I'm only going to leave this here for the first couple of cards, and then I'm going to take it off because I think it's going to get in the way, especially with how many cards I'm going to be warping. But I just wanted to remind myself where the threads need to go in order to warp this correctly. So, like always, nice little tail. You'll put your thumb on that forward peg. So I'm going to go up and over, down and around the tension peg, around this back peg, which is actually if you're doing ankle weaving, this is the heddle peg. Back to the start. Grab my tiny little scissors. And repeat. Because this is 4 threads per card, it's going to not require a pencil, so that's nice. Oops. And make sure you don't hook your scissors when you're warping it. Alright, and I pulled out these old school cards, School Products Company ink. These are the ones that they used to use in classrooms in the US back when they did fiber arts in classrooms. The cards are labeled clockwise, like most of the North American ones. I'm going to have it face toward me, and the S threads will go through the back. This is an S threaded card. And since all 4 colors are the same, it doesn't matter which thread goes into which hole. And the last one. Oh, wait a minute. I guess I unthreaded a hole. That's interesting. Okay. That one goes there. And you go over here. All right. And then so I'm going to go left over right twice, pull it snug, and then right over left, pull it tight, surgeon's knot, and then I'm going to scoot these back, and I'm going to remove this guide yarn. I don't need this anymore, it's just going to get in the way. Whee! Okay. So now I can scoot these all the way back and start warping the second card. Now if you wanted to do a continuous warp, this is a great pattern for doing that. I don't have a continuous warp setup that could be easily translated back to this loom, so that would be difficult. But if you're doing backstrap weaving, or if you're doing warp weighted weaving, this is a perfect kind of thing to do continuous warping with. You could get a couple of C-clamps, clamp them to either a really long table or 2 different tables or a counter and a chair, whatever, 2 fixed points, and then you could continuous warp on those 2 fixed points. And I know I will do a video that includes that eventually, but I believe Libby Cripps has already done a video on continuous warping. So she also talks about what patterns you can use for continuous warping and which ones don't really work for continuous warping. So I will put a link down below of her video for continuous warping, and yeah, you can check her out. Okay, here's the 4th thread. Oops. Scoot these back just a smidge. Okay, card number 2. This is Z-threaded, so the card is still facing toward me, but the threads will go in through the front of the card instead of the back. I lay them across the top, pull them through this way. I don't even remember where I got these cards from. These might be, I know these are some of the earliest cards that I ever got when I started tablet weaving, and I think I may have gotten them from a class. There's a tablet weaver who lives locally named Master Fiak, and he was the one that originally taught me how to do tablet weaving many, many moons ago. And yes, I had to take the class more than once to figure out what the heck he was doing, because this is not an easy thing to figure out. I admit that. And I think I ended up taking his class 3 times before it finally clicked. But, you know, I tease myself and say that I'm a slow learner. Okay, card number 3 is 2 threads of white and 2 threads of green. So having both the white and the green in your hands at the same time, again, leaving a nice long tail, you can thread both of them at once. And this will reduce the amount of time it takes to warp this thing. So, oops, following the same path. This is very important. You end up with all kinds of weird problems if you don't follow the same path. There is 1, and oops, I missed that peg, and 2. I actually really like being able to warp more than 1 thread at a time. It certainly speeds up the whole process. Okay, so card number 3, and like all the rest of the cards all the way across, A and B will both be white, C and D will both be green, and they will all be alternating S and Z all the way across. So, S, A, white, reach down here and pull through a green. Move the other threads up here, pull through the white one, and down here and pull through the green one. Hopefully I grabbed the right thread. Yes, I did. Okay, good. And then tighten those up, tie them on, over right twice, and right over left. And then you'll just continue this warping until you finish all of the cards. So I've got my pattern, I've got my ruler to follow along. Got my cup of tea, and I've got my entirely warped pattern. Now the first thing I'm going to do before I start anything is I'm going to ensure that I did this right. I'm going to make sure that I have all of my cards SZ, SZ, SZ all the way across, because if that's not right, it's going to screw up everything. So I'm going to check that really quick just to make sure. Oh, see, there's a wrong one right there. So that's correct. See how both of them are coming down? And then the next card, this one goes up, but this one goes down. And then that one goes up and that one goes down. So this one is threaded incorrectly. Now there's a couple of things that you can do. You can untie it and retie it correctly after you rethread it, or because this has the two colors on the top and the two colors on the bottom are the same, you can just flip the card, theoretically, flip the card, and now it's correct. That's a lot faster than having to untie it and rethread it. Double check, double check. Husband is crashing around in the other room. Don't know what he's doing. Oh, oh. Yep, 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 and yep. Okay, so everything else is threaded correctly. I got a new shuttle for my birthday. So this will be interesting. It's got a really sharp kind of knife edge on it, so this should press down those threads really nicely. And I am really excited to see how this works. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn all the cards so that A, D are at the top. A, D. So those are at the top of the deck. And then I will pull the thread through, nestle it in there, and turn all the cards forward. Pull that through. I'm going to pull the tail back through the other side, like we always do to anchor this. Turn all the cards forward again. Press that down. Pull it through. I'm going to send the tail back through. Give that a little tug. Turn the cards again. Press this down. Pull the shuttle through. Pull the tail through one last time, and then we're going to tuck that out of the way. Leave a little loop behind, and turn the cards one more time. So we're back to AD at the top. Is there a thread? Oh, okay. Must have snagged on something. Press, pull that through. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay, so we have anchored that down. Now again, this is Thora Sharptooth's pattern, but I use the TDD software that's available online. It's free and it's fantastic. I really, really love it. I will include the link in the description below. So with this pattern, the first two cards are going to go forward, and then 3 through 13 are going to go backwards. Now this is when it's really nice to have the cards numbered on the back, so you can see there's number 14, 3 through 13 go backwards. It's a little quick thing. You may find it helpful. So the next 4 are going to go forward, and then 3 backwards, and then up through 28 will go forwards, 29 and 30 will go backwards, and then the last 2 go forwards. So I'm going to turn these ones backwards, turn these ones forwards, and we're going to leave those cards where they are because we're going to do everything twice. It's a little bit like a skip hole weave where everything gets done twice. So we're going to turn these again and turn those. And then we'll send the shuttle back. Press down firmly, pull the loop, and then leave the loop behind. All right, the next picks, I'm going to have all of them go forward up to, let's see, 1 through 12. And then the next 5 will go backwards, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. 18 and 19 go forwards, and all the rest except the last 3 go backwards. So turn those backwards, turn those forwards. You might notice that the turning of the cards is much quieter. That's the silk. It's amazing. Just really quiet. Press, pull, and leave the loop behind. And the next pick, 2 go forwards, and 3 through 11 go backwards. 3 go forwards, 1 backwards, 2 forwards, 1 backwards, and the rest forwards. Just like butter. And everything's duplicated. Press, pull, and leave the loop behind. And 1 through 10 go forwards. Put 3 backwards, 2 forwards, 2 backwards, 2 forwards, and the last 3 go forward and the rest go backwards. Well, it is the last day of March. No fooling. I actually really don't like April Fools. I've never liked it. I've never understood the, I don't know, the amusement in tricking people. I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, we got 2 forwards, and then 3 through 9 go backwards. The next 3 forwards, 3, come on, 3 backwards, 2 forwards, 3 backwards, numbers 21 through 28 forwards, the next 2 backwards. So if I happen to post this on April Fool's, which I don't think I will, I mean, it is Thursday, Friday would be ideal. Maybe I will. But yeah, I don't do practical jokes. It's not my thing. You can already start seeing the pattern emerging here. Of course, we'll do a super close-up at the end. Looks like there's a loose thread right there, but that's all right. That's part of working out the tension at the beginning. Very normal. Okay, 1 through 8 go forwards. 3 go backwards. 4 go forwards. 2 backwards. 4 forwards, 6 backwards. Okay, so we're going to turn those ones back, and those ones forwards. What else? Well, I just celebrated a birthday a few days ago. I could tell you how old I am, but Who cares? I figured, you eventually get to the age where you're like, eh. But we went out and celebrated at a Brazilian steakhouse, which was fantastic. That's actually a tradition for us. That's what we do on my birthday. Let's see, so we go 4 backwards, 4 forwards, 5 backwards, 2 forwards, 5 backwards, 4 forwards, and 4 backwards. So we kind of did the Winnie the Pooh thing there. We ate and ate and ate and ate and ate and ate and ate. Luckily, it has double doors, so you could leave. We didn't get stuck. Okay, seems to be a thread stuck somewhere. Okay. Yep. I can't wait to flip this over and do the big reveal on the backside. I'm itching to do it, though. I gotta wait. Okay, picks 15 and 16. We got 5 going forward, and then 6 backwards. That's 3 and 6. 4 going forwards, and 3 backwards. 5 going forwards, 2 backwards, and the rest forwards. Let's see, and back again. Oh, this is looking so nice, so crisp. Oh, I love this so much. I really hope the recipient loves it too. Okay, 2 forwards, 2 backwards, 2, 4, 6, 8 forwards, 2, 4, 6, 8 forwards, 3 backwards, 4 forwards, and all the rest backwards except the border cards. Like I said, I tried doing this pattern, or this, I'm sorry, not pattern. I tried doing this style of weaving many years ago when I first started learning how to do this. There were 2 classes that you could take. One of them was in double face. So I signed up for the class, and at the end of the class, I brought the loom home, but I couldn't remember how it was done by the next day. And so the loom was set up with my weaving in progress, and it ended up getting moved around the house several times, and I never got it done. I never finished it. I know I still have it around here somewhere. I will find it and I will show you what I did, and that was as far as I ever got. But now, realizing how easy this is, I think I'm gonna have to pull it out and finish that. Unfortunately, I was weaving my name into it, and I've changed my name since then, because at the time I was Hélène de Navarre, and now I'm Elewys of Finchingfield, so that just makes it awkward. So 3, 6, 9, 10, is that right? Yeah, line it up. So up through number 13. 13. Okay, so those go backwards, and then 2 forwards, and 5 backwards. So I guess I'll have to do another one with my new name on it. Heck, maybe I'll weave something else in there. Have it say, weave along with Elewys. That would be pretty fun, actually. Oh, that reminds me. Besides the TDD software, Catherine Weaver also did a series of books. She's got at least 3 books. I think there's 5 total, but one is a compilation. of the others. So I just picked them up for my birthday and I printed them out, and they are fantastic. And one of them includes several alphabets, and I'm really excited to try those. Okay, so this is numbers 1 through 14 go forward, and then 1 backwards, 2 forwards, 1 backwards, 3 forwards, and the rest backwards except the border cards. Now, the other really cool thing about using silk is that the twist doesn't build up quite as fast as the cotton because it's so much finer. You don't have really big problems with twist buildup, and it's really awesome. So you can go quite a long ways before you have to flip the border cards and then get that weird little lump on the edge. I'll press this a little harder. Okay, so we got 3 forward, and then up through 13, 12, 13 go backwards, and 2 forwards, 2 backwards, 2 forwards, and 3 backwards. And then, like the border cards, they will always go the same direction. Eventually, you flip them, and then they'll still all go the same direction. And it won't have any effect at all on the pattern. Alright, picks number 25 and 26. 2 forward, 2 back, 2, 4, 6, 8 forward, 3, 6, 8. 3 backwards, 2 forwards, 3 backwards, 3 forwards, and the rest backwards except the border. You may have also noticed that I changed my clothes. I'm actually wearing mundane clothes. Shh. I'm not on camera though. Well, my parents are going to be coming over shortly. Yay! So I just wanted to be ready for their visit. Figured if you can't see me anyway, or not much. Although, medieval clothes really are comfortable. Holy cow. Okay, pick 27 and 28. The first 5 go forwards. Make sure I'm counting these right. 6 go backwards, 4 forwards, 2 backwards, 4 forwards, and 3 backwards. $29.30, 2 forwards, 4 backwards, 4 forwards, 5 backwards. If I can get the cards separated. I think I mentioned before, these cards I've had since I took that first class, and I have woven miles and miles of trim with it, and they're still in remarkably good shape. So a set of cardboard cards, they'll last you a really long time. I mean, they're not a big investment anyway, but they will last you a very long time. One of the things that can wear your cards out really fast, I've found, is, and I'll demonstrate in just a second, If you use your cards to beat down or slide them up a lot, it's going to put a lot of wear on the holes. Pick number 31 is 7 forward, 2 backwards, 5 forwards, 3 backwards, 4 forwards, and 6 backwards. 3 and 6. And repeat down, full, repeat. And, oh, and that's the end of the repeat. So there it is. That came up on me pretty fast. So there's the finished product. It looks really, really good. Let me flip it over for you guys. And that's the underside of it. It's a complete reverse of the top. Isn't that amazing? It's really cool. By the way, this is 20/2 silk. It is approximately 3/4 of an inch wide, or 2 centimeters. Here's the coolest thing I just found out about my new shuttle. Awesome.